Welcome to a new edition of the Neon Jazz interview series with Armenia-based Oud player and composer Tigrane Kazazian. He opened up about his new 2023 CD, Still Love, that is a mix of jazz, world, electro-avant-garde, and folk contemporary music. He's half French, half Armenian, born and raised in Egypt, and he then lived in France and Canada and currently lives in Armenia. He's got a great story of music and life. Enjoy this interview. It's great to meet you. Thank you for reaching out to Neon Jazz and taking a minute out today. I appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm also very happy.
Absolutely. And before we get into your life and Still Love, I want to know, how did you survive COVID and how does having a new album out now feel?
So it feels really good to have a new album because those compositions have been with me for a long time. As for COVID, it's been kind of a secondary topic here in Armenia because we had a war going on in the past few years, in 2020 mainly, right after COVID started, a few months after COVID started. So people didn't really care about COVID at this point because young men were dying. So
talk to me a little bit about this album. You said you were sitting on these compositions for a while. How did you put this album together? How did it come into its modern version now?
So yeah, the way I began playing music, even because in the first place, this was when I was 18, 19 years old. At the time, I was living in Montreal, in Canada. And my father is also a composer, Oud player, so he plays the same instrument, the Oud. I was born and raised in Egypt, so being in the house, I've always heard his music, but I was never playing music really when I was younger, growing up. And the moment I started playing the instrument, first I picked up the guitar because the Oud was a bit too complex as a starting point, especially that I was in Canada, he was in Egypt, so he wasn't teaching me or anything. And the very first few notes I was able to do on the guitar, for me, it was already composition. Like I never tried to copy anything or to learn a ready-made technique or anything. I really started note by note. And for me, this one note in the beginning was already so beautiful, and then a second, and then a third, and slowly, with time passing by and improvement, they transformed into compositions that kind of evolved with me through the years. I wasn't trying to fix them or conclude them in a specific format right away. So they evolved for years and years. And at some point when I formed a few bands here in Armenia, I just fixed some themes, and in between we have always a lot of improvisation. So this is how Still Love mainly came to life, with all these evolved melodies and improvisations over the years, plus fixing themes for each of the compositions, basically.
So what was the first live music show that you ever witnessed that really inspired you and made you think that you may want to do that someday?
It's hard to give you a first live show because, as I told you, my father is a quite known composer who's done many movie soundtracks, has 15 albums in France. So I kind of grew up with that music in the house, but I was actually listening to anything but his kind of music. I was listening to what all teenagers kind of listen to, mainstream music, a bit of everything. Of course, I was first very impressed by when I started playing myself, except from his music, because listening to his music was what really made me want to pursue that myself, because I kind of felt like he was teaching me life through music. But this was later, at 19 years old. Again, when I was young, I wasn't feeling this or understanding this. I understood this much later. But apart from him, there was some specific guitarists, for example, Tim Reynolds from Dave Matthews Band, who, when I was first starting, he was impressing me a lot. But other than that, my influences are honestly, I love artists from all kinds of genres, be it Miles Davis or Bob Dylan or Serge Gainsbourg in France, or many singers, musicians. Depends. Bob Marley. I mean, Tupac. Also in more in jazz or in Tigrane Kazazian, who is the most famous Armenian artist alive nowadays performing. Um, Ibrahim Malouf, the trumpetist in France. Um, Many artists, to be honest. The list is so long. Depends also on the phases, but
Excellent. So in this journey as a professional musician, there's so many aspects to it. There's recording, there's live shows, there's promoting, there's all of these aspects. What do you like the best about it?
oh, mainly the relationship with the instruments. This is what I like the best is the everyday uh, what we call practicing, or but it's more of a relationship with the instrument, the fingers, the feelings, the different feelings of the days. Today it's different. In the morning it's something else. At night is every day this exploration, this perpetual exploration and perpetual kind of dialogue through sound, through the instrument with the world.
So what are you hoping the listener gets from your new album, Still Love?
My aim is if I understand my inner self correctly, is mainly about peace, tranquility, calm, and strength. These are the kinds of things that I hope to share with people, because um, I firmly believe that if we are calm and solid and away from the noise and from the constant bombardment of everything that can happen with in the current world we live in. That's when we can get clarity and truly pursue and fulfill our mission here in this world. And everybody has one.
For sure. So everyone out there has an idea of who they think you are, you know, whether it's your family or your friends or your fans, but ultimately you are in control. What's your perception? Who do you think you are?
Who do I think I am? I am like ultimately we are all the same in that sense that we have access to life because we are all alive. So we each have this very this very rich gift that is the direct connection with life. Once we get past all these illusions, all these about who we think we are actually, we can that's I think when we can tap the universal and tap what makes us all much more similar to each other than the small differences on the outside, or all the differences that we create, all the divisions kind of. But ultimately we are all life. We are we're all alive. And then we have this connection within ourselves once we get past. I mean, some traditions use meditation, or all forms of spirituality kind of all point out to the same goal. I think so. Who I think I am personally, well, I am the if it's more for the different part, I am the son of my parents. My father is Egyptian Armenian. My mother is French. I was born and raised in Egypt. I then lived in France for 4 years, 6 years in Montreal. I've been in Armenia for 11 years. So I am a sum of all these experiences. That's from the outer world perspective, but from the inner world perspective, it's more about I think who I am was more found in or is more found in that strength I found to access this calm and this clarity of mind that allows me to see that in the end, we're very much the same in this earth, on this earth.
What a great answer. Well said. So if anyone out there wants to learn more about any live shows, pick up a copy of Still Love, anything pertaining to you and your music, where can they go?
Well, for now, I think the French label I'm working with is only releasing it on streaming platforms. I think I'm gonna do a physical CD soon, but I don't know when. Probably in the coming month, but not for sure, not in the coming 3 months. For now, it's just digital. As per live shows, I will be touring in Geneva, in Switzerland, Geneva in August. In Sweden, also in August. Then I will go to France and I'll collaborate with a French singer, very talented singer with a beautiful voice called Blaubert. And after that, I'm still planning. Hopefully, there's going to be a concert in London, but later in the year, and maybe in Canada too. So currently, I'm working on it because those 2 dates are not confirmed yet, London and Canada, but for now it's Switzerland, Sweden, and France.
Great news, man. It's so good to hear you cats out there playing the music, getting new material out. Thank you again for reaching out to the show. Best of luck with the album and everything else.
Thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for listening and tuning in to another Neon Jazz interview, where we give you a bit of insight into the finest players and minds in Egypt, Canada, Armenia, Kansas City, and spots all over the world, giving fans all that jazz. And thanks to Tigrane for his time, energy, and reaching out to the program. If you want to hear more interviews, you can find Neon Jazz interviews on either Spotify or Apple Podcasts. You can subscribe to us at YouTube, and for everything Neon Jazz, go to theneonjazz.blogspot.com. Until next time, enjoy the jazz, my friends.
Neon Jazz.